Good morning, Bears. This is the 325 edition of Knott's Notes. Let's dive right into this. The agenda for today is some shout outs for math and ELA, a few thoughts on the walkthrough data for the entire third quarter. I'll go over that, and it'll also be included in the Bear brief that Ms. Valenzuela sends out. And I'll finish up what I started last week with the now psychological advantages of the work we're doing with the PLC at work process. So diving right in, a quick shout out to the math and English teachers for prioritizing and getting those tests done last week. There were a large group of you guys who did exactly what we needed you to do and got that assessment taken care of. And I'm interested to see what the data shows where our kids are. And I know you guys will be looking at that as well. So thank you guys for your parts in getting the students tested that needed to get tested last week. Moving into the quarter three walkthrough data, that information is in the Bear brief, and you can kind of see the kind of the heart monitor vibe that we have going on with the things that we take a look at when we're coming into classrooms. And I would just like to draw your attention to that, as that speaks to kind of an inconsistency that we probably should not be seeing on campus. I know that walkthroughs are snapshots, and I know that sometimes we're going to see things or not see things when we're in there. And we take that into consideration, obviously, when we're in the classrooms, but it doesn't mean that even on the days that we're introducing new topics, that we still shouldn't be asking students to do and to think and demonstrate learning at least a DOK 2 level. So I would just be mindful, again, as I always say, try to be intentional with your planning, even in your introductory units, that you are taking care to try to do the things that we need to do with our students, having them hit as many of the four C's as possible, checking in with them regularly, doing CFUs during your lessons, even if it is a less teacher directed lesson, calling them back in to check to make sure they're making the adequate progress that you need them to make. And being intentional about planning activities that are at least at a DOK 2 level, just stressing the things that we're supposed to stress. So again, take a look at this. This is just for reflection. I always say, the goal is to get to 80%, but knowing that we're only going to see a snapshot of the instruction, if we're hovering around 65 to 70%, I'd be okay with that, because that's telling me you guys are being intentional with your planning. So again, keep that in mind, and we'll continue to have these conversations as we move forward. Going into this last portion here, the psychological advantages of working in a PLC, or using the PLC at work process that we're embarked upon right now. I really just, reading the slides, I was drawn to it. And so just go through these real quick. There are five or six advantages that we'll cover today. Excuse me. And just the first one being just reduced stress and isolation. The more we dive into this process, the less overwhelming it will be, because it's going to be a shared responsibility. The ability to problem solve together and to attack really this challenge that we have of educating our students today. This should not be something that we do alone. So just kind of taking off some of the weight and the responsibility and the stress of being a teacher today is a shared responsibility that, if we do it together, is a lot easier for us to handle. The second thing is having great job satisfaction. I know that anytime I've been a part of a strong team, and been able to talk through my issues and have teammates I could depend on, I always felt better about the performance, about whether it was work or playing a sport or whatever it was doing. When I feel like I have people to lean on and people that have my back and I have their back, it's a lot more satisfying, and the successes that we have are a lot just, they just feel better, right? It's easier to celebrate those things together. And so I would encourage you guys to continue to work together, dive into this work together, because it will be more fulfilling that way. The third thing on here is just talking about the growth mindset. I know we are asking you guys to be very reflective in your practice, looking at data and telling us what that data is, what is that data saying about what our students are and are not learning, and then making adjustments. Teaching is very personal, but it is something that we should be always trying to improve at, always trying to get better at, and understanding that, hey, with failure comes an opportunity for us to get better. So having a growth mindset, and again a supported growth mindset with each other, not feeling like you're in it alone, it helps psychologically to be in this team oriented collaborative process. Continuing along the same vein, our sense of purpose and community will only grow stronger. Our students are all of our responsibility, and the more that we start to lean on each other and trust each other and own these kids and this purpose together, the better off we're going to be. I know we still have some work to do to unify our vision for what we want, and really kind of dial everything in and get everything going in the right direction. We are working on that. We are very aware of that. But I feel like the more we own this process together and the more we own our student success together as a group, the better it's going to be. And really, it's going to lead into these two things. We're just going to feel better about the work that we do, the job that we're capable of doing, and the feeling that, hey, you know what, we do make a difference in the and whether or not our kids learn. I've had a lot of individual conversations, and there are, the thoughts out there that, you know what, a kid, they're gonna learn or not learn, they're gonna pass or fail. It doesn't matter what I do, and I think that research has shown. This isn't just my opinion. Research has shown that a teacher, and especially a collective group of teachers, identity and belief in their ability to impact student learning is the greatest factor in whether or not students are successful. That is research proven. And so our work through this process is going to only help us get an understanding and solidify our belief that we can and do and will make a difference in whether or not our kids are successful or not. So that's really kind of the that last part right there is really the biggest thing for me, as the principal, is that we have to embrace this together. And the more we embrace it together, the more we're going to believe and work towards making sure that our students meet the goals that we want them to meet and are successful. So that's this part right there. That's the last part of it for today. I just wanted to get that message out, those advantages of working in this process as we continue down this path. There's going to be days where you guys feel like, oh, this is a grind. Stay the course. It's the right direction for us, and it's only going to lead to greater success for our students, which is why we're here. So thank you guys. Have a great day. Have a great week, and go Bears.